So this is a trip to the north part of the Sahara Desert. The basis of this trip is around using survival tactics and techniques are found online and practically using them in a situation that they are required for, hence the reading from the text online.
I don't know, an hour or so, maybe more. It's quite a dry desert, very dry. You can tell by the ground. It does receive some rainfall during the year. As you can see, it's kind of almost mud-like. But this being the Sahara Desert still, it means it's going to receive minimal rainfall. Now, the gear I have today with me, I've got a parachute in that black bag down there. I've got a knife along with a PVC tube. So hopefully if I do get some, groundwater, if I do make a solar still, I'll be able to drink the water out of that without disturbing the solar still. Very dry out here. I'm trying to avoid licking my lips to dehydrate myself more, and my feet are absolutely burning themselves on the ground. I'm also about to finish off my last of my water. Oh my god. Oh god. Oh, it feels good. Oh my god. Oh, I feel weak. I feel so weak from the heat already. I can barely even hold this camera with my arm. As you can see, there's nowhere left. My parachute is in this bag here. Okay, so there's nothing to do but to start hiking again. Right over there is the highest peak. If I can get to some high ground, I can figure out the lay of the land and figure out where I need to go, where I can find water, where I can find a valley, where I can find rivers. I don't know, who knows? You see behind me, the thunderstorm clouds are kicking off as well. So, would it rain? I don't know, who knows? It might do. It'd be great if it did. I'd absolutely love it. Deserts are probably one of the most inhospitable places in the world. Every step I make hurts. There's rocks on the floor. As I'm naked, it digs into my feet every time. Why do I feel so weak? I feel like I've already got the beginnings of heat exhaustion. I feel weak. It does sound like there's a thunderstorm coming, but let's hope it actually hits us and doesn't avoid us. Oh my god, I don't know why I feel so weak today. I think the heat's already getting to me. Every step hurts. Oh my god, that's hot. So this black bag absolutely just burnt me. It's a nightmare. Oh god. Every step is caning my feet. Well, as much as deserts are ridiculously hot and dry, it's also started thunderstorming down. So I'm just underneath my parachute, using it to help keep my body warm, using this kind of mesh to allow kind of heat to escape, as it is nylon, and nylon isn't a breathable fabric. It is still quite very warm out here, despite it is starting to rain. You got to be concerned about things like not just hyperthermia out in the desert, but sometimes hypothermia, especially if you're naked and you're not with anyone else. The symptoms can easily go unnoticed, so you've got to keep watch your body temperature and see how it goes. Okay, now it's getting really wet. Oh my god. It's falling bad. It's falling. I'll be honest, I'd rather it wasn't raining at all, because now I'm getting very cold. Oh my god. Yeah, I'm not liking this. I'm not liking this at all. Oh god. Yeah, I'm not like. You'd think that rain is the one thing you want out in the desert. It's really not. It's really not. God damn it. Fuck. It's getting worse. I think it's going to be a case of just weathering out the storm. Oh, this is really bad. Oh, it's actually really unpleasant. Really unpleasant. Oh my god. It's so cold. It's so cold out here. As much as I was looking forward to it raining, my god, it is not nice. Oh, this is not pleasant at all. Oh, this is really not pleasant. This is really not pleasant. This is dangerous as well. I could very easily fall into hypothermia. Oh, just need to weather it out. That's all I need to do. The thing is, with this material as well, the water just gets straight through. It's like splashing all over me. Ah, this is not nice. I was going to wait, to be honest. It's not gonna, the way I see it, it's not going to last forever. It's going to be hot again tomorrow, so I just got to have to deal with it. And whilst I'm here, I can just get moisture from here. It's even just clean my lips. Unfortunately, nylon's never breathable, so you get too hot in it, and it's not waterproof, so you do get wet in it. It's purely a waiting game, to be honest, to handle it. I've got to be careful of two things. So if I start getting too cold, then that's going to mean I'm going to start shivering, and that's going to use calories and water in that process. I do need to be concerned about any flash floods, and I do need to be careful about flash floods. Whilst the rain is manageable here, I know it's thunderstorming, and the rain could easily be heavier in a certain place further away, and the water could run down and catch me off guard. So I've got to keep an eye and a lookout to see if that does happen. Hopefully not though. I might as well, you know what? I might as well enjoy the rain. I smell really bad right now because I've been sweating really hard. So what I want to do is give myself a bit of a clean even. If I'm going to be wet anyway, I might as well be wet and clean. Yeah, that hasn't helped that much now. I just feel a bit more wet than I was a minute ago. Just going to wait it out still. For a second here, I thought the rain had just let up, and then it started thundering again. Whoop me. Oh, it's getting cold. Oh my god, it is getting actually quite cold now. It's getting later on in the day as well. So the water hasn't permeated the soil, as you can see. It didn't last too long, the rain, even though I did thunder down. Yeah, I didn't get really any water out of it at all. I wet my lips, that was it. What it did do is cool me down, and that means that my body didn't have to use water to sweat. So that's kind of giving me maybe a few more hours, who knows, to keep on going and keep on surviving out here. This hasn't really gone to plan. I didn't really expect it to start raining down. So my whole kind of plan of what I was doing has kind of changed. But like, ultimately it hasn't affected, it's just given me a few more hours. It hasn't affected what I've got to do to survive out here in a very dry desert. Because really, it hasn't made a difference. Look how dry it is. Dry as a bone, You know, as fast as it rains down, the sun and the heat would just dry that back up again in seconds. I'm trying to avoid licking my lips because that dehydrates you more as well. Yeah, so I do feel like I'm really out of place, because even though the rain was a bit of a blessing because it's cooled me down, like I don't know what to expect anymore, you know. That's just throwing me for a loop. I thought this was gonna be like a certain really hot, really dry desert survival, and now it's had a bit of rain. Now I'm like, what else is next round the corner? What didn't I expect? What didn't I plan for? Now, deserts have a complete different set of survival rules to follow versus any other environment. This is considered dry, you know. Things bite you, things sting you, the sun burns you, the sun stings you. Everything out here is sapping you moisture and water is one of the key things you need to survive. You know, do me without food, that's fine. Do me without water, well, that's going to be a big issue. The deserts are dry, hot and bleached. Even the ground will burn your feet as well. Deserts are dry, bleached, and even deserts are dry, hot, bleached, and just even the ground will burn your feet. I'm gonna have to make some kind of footwear to enable me to keep on walking tomorrow. Things you make one little mistake, you could end up dying, even from hypothermia. You know, hypothermia is the one where your body temperature drops too low. If I did have this parachute out here, that might have been an issue, but you know, it's gonna get hot again in the desert. You're always gonna dry out. Oh my god, I'm so dehydrated. This is absolutely horrible. I'm sorry. This is absolutely horrible. I'm so dehydrated. Got sand blowing into my face, into my eyes. My energy levels are absolutely shot. I think the heat exhaustion's already got me. Been scouting around for the best location to sleep, so I think I found it. So now what it's got is a nice kind of wall, and that will essentially help radiate heat back towards me in the night. Obviously I've been heated during the day when it was sunny, and it will just give me some residual heat at night. It's going to help me a lot. I'm going to use my parachute and essentially put it across there with stones, using stones not so big so that if they do accidentally fall down during the middle of the night, they won't do me any harm. Won't ever fall down onto me. Got a bit more weight on here. final part was just to tie a selfie stick on my camera gear to make it nice and airy, and when the wind blows in, that's going to have a nice air conditioning effect. Now I was going to bury the stick using kind of stones and kind of mud. There we go. Ah, my feet. Oh my god, that really hurt. Okay, so here's my shelter all done. As you can see, it's nice and airy. I put some bricks or some rocks down to kind of spread out the size right there. It's going to keep me nice and warm in the night. As nylon isn't breathable, it'll keep the body heat in, but I've got this kind of opening for some nice air and ventilation. One thing I made sure I did was make the shelter during the evening when the temperatures will cool down. To make your shelter during the day, all you're going to do is trap the heat inside it and you can have a hot shelter all night. That's something you want to avoid, because you want to avoid wasting moisture. I did check for snakes and scorpions or lizards just in case they're in my shelter, because you know, this shelter does provide shade and cool. You know, these kind of creatures would always try to find their way inside there. Like, I've tried to make it as tight as possible. Like, my only opening I have is this front entrance, so the only way creatures going to really come in is through the one thing I make sure I do is I want to make sure I've got one entrance. That means any way a creature's going to come in is from the front, and I'll be there waiting. You know, having good shelter will go a long way to you know, keep your spirits up and maintain a correct body temperature. It's key, so I've made sure I made it before it gets dark, and now I'm quite happy, quite relaxed, and I'm looking forward to getting a good night's sleep. You know, shelter and warmth are great for your body. Shelter and warmth are just great for your body, great for your mind, great for your soul. I've got an absolute beautiful view of the stars, though I am kind of slightly scared about the possibility of, you know, a snake or scorpion finding refuge underneath his parachute. You know, I like that the fact that it's not boiling hot. Like, this is like a comfortable temperature. You know, I'm not going to exaggerate, but like, it's freezing cold. It's night time and oh my god, it's the Sahara desert, it gets so cold at night. Like, it's colder than it is at day, as standard. But it's kind of nice, you know. The temperature's perfect. I'm sleeping outside under the stars. It's a nice wind. That does make the parachute get in my way, in my face. But it's kind of nice. Like, I genuinely cannot slam it. Like, if this was Airbnb, it's getting a good 4 stars. Like, the ground isn't really that uncomfortable. My head is slightly above my feet, which is the way it should be. Like, it's just kind of good, and it's kind of nice sleeping out here, to be honest. Like, during the day it's been pretty hell. It's been a very, very hard day. My dehydration's still very, very bad, and it is very uncomfortable. But all things said, all things done, I feel quite comfortable. Other than the dehydration, I feel quite comfortable, to be honest. Like, yeah. Like, nighttime temperatures can get very cold in the Sahara Desert, but I guess this part of the Sahara Desert isn't too bad today. maybe the humidity is a bit higher than it was normally, because it did have a bit of rain earlier on today, which obviously evaporated pretty much instantly. Yeah. Yeah, it's like, like I wish I could come back. Oh God, I feel like the less I drink and being dehydrated, the more I mess up words I say. Like, I can't complain about this shelter really. I want to try and get some sleep. I want to keep the camera running for as long as I can, but yeah, I just hope no snakes come into my shelter. I hope no scorpions come into my shelter. Yeah, and so we'll get. Well, it's a bit lame, isn't it? Like, survival, you kind of want it to be like a bit it hurts. Like during the day it hurts massively, but night time, if you get over the whole, if you can push the whole a snake might come in the middle of the night and bite me, if you kind of forget about that and don't concern yourself about that because you've got not really any control over it, it's kind of just a nice, it's gonna be a nice sleep, I think. So I'm gonna try to shut eye. I've just woken up. It's my second day in the desert. Very dehydrated. Night's sleep was interesting. It weren't the worst in the world. It did get very cold in the early morning hours, but other than that, it wasn't the worst sleep I've ever had. What I did do earlier, so before the sun was going to come up, what I did, upturn rocks like these, similar to this method. So I'd upturn these. And basically the coolness underneath the rock, just been there from the day before and all night, that will allow dew to form on here. Now, I've done it to quite a few rocks. I don't feel like it's worked too well. But by leaving this can out, what I've done is managed to get some dew forming. It's on a plastic can, but it seems to have worked. What I've done is put that on my lips rather than use my tongue, because I don't want to dry my tongue out on the plastic can. But yeah, that's kind of wet my lips a little bit. It kind of makes you feel a bit better. It's not a lot, it's not enough, but it's better than nothing. It's a trick that old Bedouins would used to do when they had to survive out in the desert for any long period of time. If it was on a long journey, they would essentially just flip these rocks before dawn like this, and then the dew would form on here. Something sharp in there. It's these. See, look how easily they stick into. It's left. Still in there. Sorry. And so these have been a bane in my life for these past 2 days. You can't see them on the ground very easily because they are very sand coloured, and they just, in every angle at 360 degrees, there's a sharp point in there which keeps digging into my feet. It's kind of like this, kind of like breaking it down. Guess what I've just found? Some kind of nest. It's some kind of nest slash webbing for some kind of spider. Be a large one. I can see its legs. Its legs are white. You can maybe just about see it. I don't know. It's right there in the middle of the screen. It's got a big body. What I need to do is make a decisive blow, kill it straight away. If I don't kill it straight away, odds are it's going to get away because I don't have the energy to be able to run fast enough to catch it. It might go into another crevice. So I'm going to get a large rounded rock. I can see it in there. I can see it in there. I'm just going to don't know. No idea, I have no idea. Okay, you can see, look at that juice. It's definitely made an impact. I think it's still in there. I'll look for a stick. Unfortunately, there's no really good sized sticks around here. I don't want to leave the area because I don't want to lose it. There we go. Here, this will be okay. It's a weak stick, but it's the only stick I've got. There you go. Can you see that? Got it. Ah, oh, how juicy it looks. It's still slightly alive. Ah. Let's get a nice flat rock to put it on. There you go. There's a bit of food for me. It's a pretty big one. Now it's time to eat the twice. I can't identify what kind of spider or tarantula it may be. No idea. Please let me know if you do know. Unless we'll be way too close. Twice, I don't know what this spider or tarantula may be. Could be poisonous, I'm not sure. Let me know if you do know what type it is. I want to eat the legs and the abdomen. I want to leave the head. And just cut it open with a sharp. Look how sharp that is. Put this down for 2 seconds. I don't really want to waste any part of this creature. Yeah. Sun's starting to beat down on my back. So yeah, I was going to start off with the legs. It tastes crunchy. Not too bad. You can see ants are trying to get at the spider now as they sense the food. They'd never be able to get a spider if it weren't dead. Not too bad. Now the abdomen's the hard part. Like, I want to cut the head off. Let's get 2 more seconds to do it in. Look how juicy this abdomen looks. Well, bon appetit. It's on the stone. I'll obviously not eat the stone. Let's turn this camera there so you can see it better. Here you guys, nothing. The juices will help hydrate me as well. It's going to be absolutely putrid and pussy. And puss-like, I should say. Just giving it a smell. I'm not looking forward to it. There's a rock in it. I'm gonna swallow it. Look at that. Yes. Oh God. That's gross. Okay, and there's just the head left. I do have to take out, there's a small rock inside there, so I have to take out, but my God. There we go, there's... that will keep that sustenance going. You should eat little and often, and that was quite a juicy spider's abdomen, so that'll help keep me going. It'll help stave up those hunger pangs. And yeah, I feel like that's a positive for me. A nice juicy, I don't know, desert spider, desert spider most likely. What we're gonna do now is gonna utilise the sun's energy, the heat, to get a solar steel. Now I don't have any waterproof kind of plastic like bin bags to kind of make one out of that. So what I'm gonna be doing is making a solar steel by using the greenhouse effect, using bottles. So here's a bottle I saw earlier. It's just there's so many sharp things in the ground. There you go, that's Now it hasn't really got, it's quite old. It hasn't really got any small holes in it, so it should be fine. What I'm gonna do, is create a solar steel using this. I mean, obviously you ask, where do you get the liquid from to make a solar steel? Well, I've been urinating inside my black canister since I came out here yesterday. First off, it's got my urine in. Wow, it's absolutely putrid. Now, I'm able to put that in, balance that together, like so. Now all I need to do is now seal this up with as tight a seal as possible. Probably can't use the lid. I'm going to seal this up using some of the parachute material, and then any droplets will go into here. My problem is that it's quite an overcast day out in the desert today, which means that it may not evaporate this enough. The advantage here that this is black. It's going to absorb heat, absorb the light, and this will heat up and make this evaporate. And evaporation will go through this tube, I'm going to use some parachute and cover this part up, and that'll give it some shade, and that'll give some good airflow around here, so it'll keep it nice and cool, so that will turn into liquid at the bottom. But I do need to cut some parachute up. I need to get a sharp rock, and yeah, I'll be able to do that. Also, just cool it down by using dirt will help keep the sun off it. What I want to do is smash a rock down on another rock until I get a sharp enough piece. Like this. What I want to do is smash this rock over on that hard one in the ground. It's just more brittle. This one's to smash into a sharp piece, hopefully. I need to do it harder. Missed it. Oh, nice. Look how sharp this is. I'll be able to use that and cut this parachute up. Once you get a tear inside it, it cuts a bit easy. I'm going to put it parachute pieces underneath a piece of rock to stop it from blowing away. I think I need a bigger piece as well. Nylon is partially waterproof, not fully waterproof, so it will help trap the moisture in there, especially when I've got a few layers. So I'm going to use this, and this will cover that in shade, put a few rocks down to keep it in place. There we go, and then just pour that in, it's like a nice seal. And that's sealed in. Now, the only way for any, say, now that's sealed in, for that, the only way for water to escape is through that tube, so it will evaporate and then it will condense in the new bottle, which will be a lot cooler because it's kept in the shade, as you can see down there. Now, my next move, so I've got to start thinking about getting out of here. So there's two ways of us I've got to start thinking about getting out of here. There's two ways to think about rescue. There's two ways to think about rescue. or getting out of a place. You can either passively do it with signalling, or you can actively do it by making a move. Now, you know, my water supplies within my body are draining, so really I should make a move tonight. What I'm going to do in the meantime is create some passive rescue techniques, make an SOS sign, and making a little fire as well. It's really dehydrated. It's really tough out here. Like, my energy sap. Like every day is just getting harder and harder. The one thing which has saved I reckon it saved my life potentially, is that. Do you see that? I'll show you again. That. You see it? One last time. That. The clouds. Those clouds have actually saved me. The overcast day has stopped those clouds have absolutely saved me. The overcast day has stopped the sun and burning me, and increased my body temperature. You know, it's not as hot as it should be, as it could be. So that's been my saving grace. If that wasn't the case, I think I'd be on the floor. I'd be on the floor completely. Like, I'm on the floor right now, but I'd be on the floor, like full on. So as you can see, it's really hot outside now. The sun is shining bright. But now it's pretty much time. I need to keep my energy and keep my moisture, so I've got to stay underneath here. This will keep me many degrees cooler than being out in the direct sunlight. What I will do though, oh my knees, oh my god, it hurts. Let's move these rocks, take out all the big ones. It's literally just, it says like a shifting method. The big ones stay in your hand whilst the small ones fall through the gaps of your fingers. There we go, see. Let's put a bit of parachute down as well to make it a bit more comfortable. I think I'm gonna have to climb that at some point. There's my solar still. Oh, I'd say some rocks fall down on me there. Still working away. There's my parachute shelter. It works better in the night. During the day, it's not as effective as this kind of little cavern. Now I do have to be careful being in this little cavern. I have to check that there's no kind of because this is where I found that kind of juicy desert spider. You have to look if there's not any kind of lizards or snakes hiding in here, because if I like this spot, then for sure as hell lizards and snakes will like this spot as well. I'm not the only one who's going to like it here. The hottest part of the day is now gone. Luckily, we've got some more cloud cover. Look, I'll be honest with you, the survival out here has been aided so much by the cloud cover. If the sun was out right now, I'd be burning up. It's really warm, don't get me wrong, because the sun goes up, like in and out of the clouds, but I would be burning up essentially. Got myself some materials all put down. Tear up this, I'm gonna make a poncho out of that, and this I'm gonna make a rescue sign. Now I'll show you what it is once I've made it. I've already unfortunately cut my hand by tearing through this all, but yeah, let's make the rest of this, because I need to be hiking out tonight. Ah, gosh, I just stood on a rock. It always bloody hurts. Out of shot. Look at this all pretty much. Almost finished. is I'm going to put this parachute into the shape of a V. A V is an international sign, an internationally understood sign for rescue. For now. One thing I will very quickly do is that I'm going to put some stones and rocks on this V shape. The way I see it, the more defined I can keep the V, the more distinctive it will be, and more deliberately. The way I see it, the more defined the V will be, the more deliberate it will look, because the wind may blow it away all over the place. Because it is a parachute, it is quite lightweight. Together it's quite heavy, but it's quite lightweight. So, just gonna. There we go. Now that's going to stay in place much better than if I not put any rocks on it to weigh it down. Time to make me some clothes, ready for this hike and wear out. There's so many sharp things on the floor. It's unreal. It's unreal. So one of the clothes I'm making will be some shoes. Well, not shoes exactly, but you know, some socks really. It's just something to protect my feet, both from the heat of the ground, as well as protect my feet from the sharp objects. Just any kind of thin layer will help. There you go. Yeah, I found this rag earlier. I wasn't sure what to use it for. I'm not really going to use it for anything, but I did pick it up, you know. So here, I've got myself some material, nylon, and some laces, essentially, which are the strings from the parachute. This will be a perfect shape to make a bandana. It's actually a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. These will protect my feet from, look at those feet, they've been worn down. Look how you got my skin colour there, and it's all just white from rocks and just minerals. With these I can put another layer on. Got plenty of material. The more layers the better. There we go. Just double tie that. I can use these as essential laces to help keep it all together. Almost like the Roman sandals of times of old. Don't put them too tight. I want them to be tight enough to stick together, not so tight that they let themselves go. Back to the front. There. Wedge it between that knot. So the more different place where you put knots, the more secure it's going to be, so that when the train does actually wear it down the base and kind of cuts the strings, at least they'll have different knots, so it won't make as much of a difference. There we go. Let's finish them off with a nice little bow. There we go. Isn't that little cute little shoe? Let's finish it off tight to the ankle. to make a difference where there it is, little bow. Let's tie up the loose string just so you don't fall down. You want to tie up all the loose string just so you don't fall down. But these are only to be worn once, you're not meant to be taking them on and off again anyway. Oh my god, that feels good. Wow. Wow. It's making a world of difference. Like, I don't feel just like tiny pieces of rock jabbing into me, and I don't feel thorns digging into my feet. Absolutely lovely. It's going to make my hike 2 times easier, especially when it's dark. I won't be able to see where to go. I'll have my infrared vision, but I want where to go ultimately. Nice. Look at that. Looks like a bunch. I need a sharp rock. Harder. Got a big old head, so need to make it a bit bigger. There we go. Now I've got a working poncho as well. It's a bit long, so I'm gonna have to like make it a bit shorter, but done. Obviously I'm gonna have to take it off now because it's not gonna be useful until later on in the night. But yeah, it's gonna make some few adjustments, but that's gonna keep me warm in the night because it's nylon, it's not really breathable. So in the night it's gonna be lightweight. Yeah, it's gonna keep me warm. Winds are picking up. That could be a sign of a flash flood coming. Now, when the winds are picking up, the skies are as grey as this in the Sahara Desert. That well could mean a storm's coming. As much as I would relish a storm, I am naked and I will get cold very easily. I hope it doesn't come. Buildings there, and that means people. People there, that means safety. I'm in a bit of a predicament at the moment. My solar still hasn't been too successful. There's only a few droplets in there. I guess because it's been quite an overcast day. It's now the evening, and I plan to. It's now the evening, and I plan to essentially hike out tonight. You know, it's getting nice and cool. It's almost ready to hike, but I want to wait till it's actual dark. And that hiking will, you know, be made a lot easier by the low heats, because it haven't keep me warm during the night if I keep on moving. So it's kind of win-win. Yeah. As you can see, there's literally only a few droplets in there. It's literally just a waste of time. Yeah. So you know, you can't have every technique you do be effective. I've avoided drinking my urine so far, but it might be time to. I've only used this to wet my lips so far, but now I'm gonna have to drink it. You know, it's not a great survival tactic, but in a short-term situation you need it. And I'm losing energy. That's absolutely gross. But there's a thing I knew that was going to be bad. It's worse than I thought. It was worse than I thought it was going to be. Just take it into account. It has drizzled. It has drizzled a bit these past 2 days, but it's not enough. It just falls to the floor, evaporates straight away. It just doesn't form into any kind of thing you can lick. Even on the parachute, it goes into it, and you can't even lick it off. You're just wasting more moisture licking it off. I've been thinking about this idea for the past few hours, thinking this is my last kind of chance. I'm going to try doing an enema with this urine. It's not nice enough to drink, so I'm going to try an enema, and essentially my organs inside will essentially absorb the liquid, and that'll hydrate me, and it'll avoid me having that horrible taste. I've seen it done before on TV a few times, enemas, and I know that urine therapy enemas exist. I remember seeing it online at one point, people using urine therapy. They have sometimes drink it, and they've also used it in an enema. They've also used coffee enemas, I guess, get the caffeine into your system fast, and urine enemas. Okay, so I'm going to give it a go. What I'm going to do is lie on my left hand side. That's the best way to do it, to avoid losing any nutrients from your bowels. But essentially my bowels will be absorbing all this. This is gonna be absolutely gross. I bloody well know it. I bloody well know it. Get a tube going. This is what happens. I'm so desperate for hydration, and I need this for the walk. You don't realise how. You don't realise. Even when it's overcast now, I haven't had a proper drink in the Sahara heat, and I know this could work. It might not work. It could work, but we're gonna give it a go. Let's say so. Put this inside, not too deep. Just when I tip, I'm gonna tip it upside down. And tip it upside down will cause the liquid to flow through. I'm gonna try to tie this around to make a kind of plug to stop water from coming out the sides. Just gonna plug it in, wrap this around. This is force it in. Make it tight. Okay, as tight as still as I'm gonna get. It's in too deep. There we go. Oh my god, that looks absolutely gross. Okay, I'm gonna lie on my left hand side. Oh. Oh. Oh god, it's not going in. Oh. That's in. Oh my god, that's in. Believe for nothing. Other side. It's going down slowly. It is going down. Let's let that sit for a bit. See, that is in. Now it's just a waiting game as it absorbs itself in. Even speed it up a bit. I feel so much better after anyway. Like, I don't feel like I'm fighting fit, but I feel like I've got some moisture inside me. I'm just at the moment avoiding bending down, as that might force the release of those fluids out of my kind of rectum, because essentially I want to keep it in there as long as I can, and as my kind of my bowels, my rectum, whatever, is going to just essentially absorb it all up, and it's going to kind of be used throughout my body. You know, I know there's obviously salt in urine, but I've been sweating a lot, and sweating gets rid of a lot of salt, so I've been missing a lot of essential salts. Now my plan, I've scouted up there, at the top of that mountain. My plan is to head yonder and go out from there. Sometimes when I'm struggling and it hurts, you know, I forget why I'm doing this. I forget why I put myself through all this pain. And that sunset is worth every ache and ah. I can see the moon in the background there. By the way, this light is an infrared light. It's not a light which I can see anything with. Yeah, I'm out here in the desert at night. It's pretty intimidating a place. But what I've kind of done whilst I've been out here the whole time, I've avoided making a fire during the day. This is because make a fire during the day, all you're going to do is end up heating up the area where you are. You're going to get hot. You're going to get dehydrated faster. You're going to lose moisture. So making a fire at night and resting for a fire at night is not just for the warmth, because I'm not really too focused about that. It's not too cold at the moment, but the focus right now is for signalling. Now what I've done is come up a hill, so I've got the best vantage point possible around. So I'm going to set the fire, and that light will be seen from miles and miles away. So if there was anyone in the area, we could hopefully try to attract them to this location. We couldn't do this during the day because a fire doesn't create enough light to kind of be noticeable in that distance, and I wouldn't be able to create enough black smoke enough to attract people my way. So yeah, I'm just going to make a signal. What I'm going to do, I want to take the battery out of the shotgun microphone. I'm going to use that against some steel wool, and that's going to ignite it essentially, and it's going to help me create like a noticeable flame. I'm going to use that spinning technique first. See, I'll take the audio out. I've got this steel wool. I'm going to tie this string I scavenged from the parachute. Just tie it around, and I've got the battery for my shotgun microphone. Also use this now. Now that will attract anyone's attention if they see it in any distance. It's quite an irregular way to create light, but it seems to have worked. Now what I will do as well, I'm going to use this to light up the parachute. To me, the parachute's dead weight. Should be a dry night. I'm going to be hiking the whole night, so using this parachute is pointless. I made shoes, bandana, mouth guard, and a poncho from the parachute, and this is all the remainder that's left. It's dead weight. I should burn it. It's going to create a fire, which you can see in the distance. Nylon does kind of set alight fast and burn quickly. It's not a slow burner. So let's have a look. As you can see, this fire will be able to be seen from miles and miles away. Look at it, it's starting to burn real nice. Just stay away. It is nylon, so it doesn't burn too well in terms of fumes. It burns very well. This will be able to be seen. At this point it's brighter than the moon, so yeah, just gonna let it burn. This is a thing of beauty, fire. Fire is man dominating this environment, and it does make you feel a bit dominant, to be honest. It's gonna go out in probably a few minutes. It's only gonna be a short signal fire, as it is nylon. Nylon burns very quickly. Now, if I wanted to make a more long-term fire, I could have used a lot of kind of shrubbery, like twigs. They wouldn't last it forever. There's no logs out here. It's kind of the desert. There's nothing big, just quite short places, kind of short. There's all it is out here are like short, very short trees. Now the only thing out here, very short, tiny little shrubberies. That's it. But yeah, this is gonna be a nice quick fire. Get rid of my dead weight. It's gonna put a signal out there, so if anyone did want to rescue me, they could very easily do that. For the time being, this fire would also keep any snakes away from me, if there are any snakes or lizards. You know, they're not a fan of fire. They don't like crossing into ash. Don't know why. Maybe they don't like it. Maybe it's also down to the fact that fire generally means humans, and this is like a wildfire, like a natural fire. Fire generally means humans. The glowers are very old time fashioned. You don't realise how much better you feel in the night when it's cooler versus the sun when it's shining down. The sun is way too hot. The days are way too hot. But the nights aren't too bad. Especially when you've got a fire next to you. You know, I feel like I've got so much more energy within inside me at night. That's why it's the best time to hike. You know? Whilst my body has the same or less, or it's got less amount of calories in it, potential to burn, well, I feel like I'm better now. Like, the night times where it's at, the heat will exhaust you, but it's fixable, and it's fixed by night time. This may well be my highlight of the trip. That and the sunset earlier. They always go for your back, because the back's the one part you can't scratch. So hiking out, visibility is poor. It's weird having this kind of big bag back on, because I'm kind of sunburnt, naturally sunburnt I guess. I'm sunburnt now. I've had worse sunburns though. The ground's very unsteady. Visibility is gone, I can't see. So I just stood on something really sharp. It stays again. So if you can focus to see that. Those sharp balls Ah! One of those sharp balls. What I will do is I'm going to use part of the parachute. I'm going to use part of the parachute to mark my way out. So if anyone does go to my camping and find my camping area, they're going to have arrows to see which direction I'm heading in. You use these like an arrow shape by getting itself to double back on itself. I'm going to use rocks to keep it to place, just so when the wind does blow, it won't blow it away. No, I think it looks pretty good. It's a pretty decent arrow shape, pointing that way. When you're out in the wild, you don't want to ever have to rely on just one method of survival. So it's not, I really should not be on the ground staying still, but I'm just so tired. I want to lie down for a bit. Just use my bag as a headrest. I need to turn off. I don't have the energy to mess around with cameras, so I'm just going to turn this one off. It's kind of comforting to see your own face on camera. Oh, God. I don't want to sleep. I know. I do need to have my time walking. I need to sleep at the same time. Like, I can't do everything. I'm getting bitten by mosquitoes unless I'm in there. I thought I was. I know I don't have that far to go. In terms of distance away from where I need to go, it's not a far distance. It's probably just like a couple of miles, literally just a couple of miles. But I'm just trying to do it. I'm just trying to do it at night because. So I've just gotten up. I'm sleeping. I did not mean to sleep that long. I just wanted to rest. It was very cold. I was very tired. Yeah, like even in this poncho, it was extremely cold to try to sleep on the desert floor. That's why I made a choice when I woke up to get moving, because I'm gonna have to do the walking anyway, and I might as well walk when I'm cold and that get me warm, rather than walking when it's already hot during the day and that get me even hotter. Good thing to do is to walk slowly. You can't really always see where you step in, so you kind of want to feel the ground with kind of your toes, and it's a lot safe that way. Especially like during the day when it's really hot, walk slowly so you don't like strain yourself too hard. That's fine. False alarm. Yeah. Okay, that one felt less of a false alarm. Yeah. What we want to do as well is take the easiest path. You know, you don't want to be climbing up hills or mountains or sand dunes. What you really want to be doing is staying down low in the valleys. You know, climbing up will exert a lot more energy than kind of walking around. Even if walking around is a further distance, it's going to be a lot less energy than it'll take to climb up the mountain. Or like sand dune in this case. Now it's all kind of similar things. But it's better like zigzag in and out rather than going straight line up and down, up and down, up and down. So let's keep walking. In any survival situation, it's very important to kind of mark your trail. You know, if you leave your camp, you're going to want to mark some kind of arrows or some signs or some notes about where you're going. Essentially, like if someone just stumbled across your camp, they'll have no clue where you are unless you leave signs. So if you continually make arrows, you do it from rocks. I'm making this one from parachute because this is what I've got on hand. And then you just put some rocks in it to make it neater, make it more defined. And there you go. You can let anybody know, any rescuers, what location you're going to. I'm heading that way. I found. Bear in mind, I cannot see this bug at all. I can only see it through my night vision camera. I can imagine this is gonna taste absolute putrid. It's still moving. Alright. Oh. 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 Mmm. 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 Ah. Ah. That is the grossest thing I've ever eaten. Oh god. Oh. Ah. Oh god. Ah. 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 Most of it went down inside me. The last bits with the shell. I mustn't be sick. If I'm sick, you lose any water content in your stomach. Most of it went down, but my god, some of it came back out. Oh my god. My gag reflex has never fought so hard. Oh god. Thing is, whilst the shell is hard and dry, the insides are pure mush. Which is good in this situation because that's a lot of liquid. That's a lot of liquid, but it's the worst way to get it. Oh god, that's a big one. I need to make my way out. I can't be doing any more of those. I cannot be doing any more of those. Oh my god, I so badly wanted to be sick. That was absolutely sickly. Never have I tasted anything so bad. Okay, let's man up, let's move on. That's quite a good saying. Let's man up, let's move on, let's go. I don't have to say let's go. Let's man up, let's move on. It's a great saying. It stands by itself. Man up, move on. I'm just walking out now. The key way to get out of any kind of situation in terms of an environment is to try to go downhill. Generally, best way to get out of any situation is to generally go downhill. Downhill is where people are, where rivers are, where anything is. You know, people generally don't build cities on a mountain. They normally build them at the bottom. I'm very dehydrated as I make this long walk. Don't forget, often in the desert, if something looks 1 mile away, it's probably at least 2 miles away. So you don't want to get your hopes up high about how fast you reach your destination. But I feel like I'm getting close. Because things generally look closer if you can see them. Because deserts are often quite flat, and you can see quite far. You feel like just because you can see it, it must be close. But that's not true. It's like in towns and cities, if you can see something, it's close. Because everything's just like built next to your face. But out in the desert, it's spread out so far and wide. Our stories, people surviving out in deserts for weeks. Just this one Sahara desert marathon runner who got lost off his trail and survived for weeks drinking bat blood. That is one guy who knows to never stop and never give up. And that's the motto, never give up. After the first day, part of me wanted to give up, but I didn't. To keep filming, keep going, to get it done. Goes to show, if you can use shade correctly, you can really minimise your water loss. If you're clever, get your head screwed on, you can do it. It's not a long-term solution, but in the short term it can work. There we go. So close to my destination now. It's edging closer. It's an inevitability now.